All right, picture this. It's Monday morning. You're in your typical tech office. On one side, you've got the senior developer, the seasoned veteran who's seen frameworks come and go. And on the other side, the vibe coder, bright-eyed and all about the latest AI tools. The tension? You could cut it with a mechanical keyboard. And it's all about to kick off over one simple little word.
Oh, for crying out loud, the senior dev grumbles, just loud enough for everyone to hear. I just got my head around the last 3 JavaScript updates, and now I gotta deal with vibes? What are we even doing anymore? What does that even mean? And that's when a younger developer just swivels around in their chair. It's the future, man. Andrej Karpathy calls it vibe coding. Basically, you give in to the vibes. You tell an AI what you want in plain English, and you kind of forget the code even exists. It's all about working at a higher level, thinking about the what, not the how. The senior dev just scoffs, totally unconvinced. Right, so it's a fancy term for letting juniors who can't be bothered to learn the fundamentals ship buggy products even faster. I mean, come on, you can't possibly think any serious experienced engineer would actually rely on that? I get why you'd think that, the vibe coder says, pretty calmly. But here's the thing. It's not just the new folks who are jumping on this. Some of the heaviest hitters in the industry are all in. We're talking about the guy who made Linux, the creator of Ruby on Rails, the mind behind Redis, even one of the main guys from the React team.
In fact, DHH, the creator of Rails, he put it perfectly. He said he's ready to give these AI agents a promotion. He actually thinks they can make production-grade contributions to real projects. So we're not talking about toys here. This is for real professional work.
The senior dev just leans back and crosses his arms. Production grade? Yeah, I read about some guy online who vibe coded a whole SaaS product. It got absolutely ripped to shreds by hackers because, surprise, he didn't actually understand the code the AI spat out. You can't just blindly trust a machine with security.
Okay, that's a totally fair point. You can't just wing it. And that's why there's a whole playbook for this stuff. It's not about just typing, build me an app, and hoping for the best. No, it's a real process. You plan everything out with the AI first. You use Git for everything, so you can roll back if the AI goes on some weird vision quest. You have the AI write high-level tests to make sure nothing breaks. And you feed it small, manageable chunks of work. It's a discipline, just like any other kind of engineer.
The senior dev actually nods a little bit, thinking it over. Okay, fine. So there's a process. I'll give you that. But that brings me to my real problem with all this. If the AI is writing the code, and it's writing the tests, what's left for us? What's our actual skill anymore?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Let's look at it this way. Think about an engineering career ladder. When you're a junior, it's all about just learning to code. That's capability. As you move up to senior, yeah, your coding skills are sharp, but now you also have to be good at communicating. That's clarity. And when you get to that staff level and beyond, you got to be a master of all of it. Coding, communicating, and delegating work, which we can call orchestration. See, for the longest time, our entire industry has been obsessed with that one column, capability. How good are you at writing code? How fast can you type? But that skill, it hits a ceiling. There's only so much code one person can write. The thing that really separates a senior from a staff-level engineer isn't being 10% faster at coding. It's mastering those other skills. And that, right there, is where the AI tools come in. Because the skills you need to be great at using AI are the exact same skills that make a great senior or staff engineer. You need clarity to write super specific prompts. You need delegation to break a huge problem into tiny pieces for the AI to handle. And you need orchestration to manage the whole show, review the output, and put it all together. Those are the skills that matter now. The senior dev is actually quiet for a second, and the vibe coder goes on. The whole game is changing. Your value isn't just in being able to play one instrument really well anymore. It's about being able to conduct the entire orchestra. We're moving from being coders to being conductors. This is really the classic difference between a programmer and a true software engineer, right? A programmer just focuses on hammering out lines of code. But an engineer, they focus on the whole system, on how the work actually gets done. They're measured by the final outcome, not just how many lines they shipped. AI doesn't replace the engineer, it just becomes their ultimate force multiplier. And the senior dev leans forward, and he's not scoffing anymore. He's actually thinking. And that question just hangs there in the air, not just for him, but for all of us. In this new world, where does your real value come from? Is it from the physical act of typing out the code? Or is it from the intellectual act of knowing exactly what code needs to be written in the first place? It's a question every single one of us is going to have to answer. But it sure seems like the future is going to be less about writing code and a whole lot more about orchestrating intelligence.